There's more federal incarcerations for drug offenses than there are for homicide, aggravated assault, kidnapping, robbery, weapons, immigration, arson, sex offenses, extortion, bribery, etc., combined. How did that happen?
I think there was a lot of fear. Level war on drugs, the crack epidemic, it became, I think, a bipartisan cause to get tough on crime.
Looks like a weapon out of a science fiction movie, but a new heat device could help get fighting inmates under control safely. It was demonstrated today at the LA County Prison in Castaic.
I think the criminal justice system interacts with broader patterns of society in a way that results in injustice and unfairness. The system, every study has shown, is biased somewhere institutionally in such a way where an African-American youth is more likely to be suspended from school than a white youth for engaging in the same disruptive behavior. More likely to be arrested, more likely to be charged, more likely to be prosecuted aggressively, more likely to get a stiffer sentence. The system tilts in a direction that is unjust.
That's where this device developed by Rawyal company comes in. The assault intervention device transmits a focused, invisible millimeter wave at a violent, troublemaking inmate, causing an intolerable heating sensation. Once zapped, that inmate will dash out of the way, giving deputies time to move in and stop the trouble.
We're looking for a device that would enable us to intervene in the assault, perhaps lessen its severity, without putting either of the potential assailants in a position of disadvantage so that they would then become the victim of a crime. We believe that we found such a device.
Sheriff officials will mount it on a wall in a jail dorm, housing some 650 inmates for the next 6 months free of charge as part of a pilot program. The first of its kind device is controlled by a deputy who looks through a monitor and with a joystick points at a target and zaps. Pitches is the first correctional facility in the nation to test the device. The burning sensation is similar to putting your hand over fire and leaving it there until it gets too hot and you snatch it away. The beam or wave can hit a target.
Is the criminal justice system in America racist?
On a day-to-day, day-in, day-out basis for most people in America, it's okay. Things have gotten a lot better. People are a little too sensitive to talk about stuff, and that's a drag, but you know, that's the way it is. But on a bigger level, it's very depressing. This whole thing of this war on drugs and the mass incarcerations that have happened pretty much for the last 40 years has just decimated the black male population. It's slavery. It's just slavery through and through. And it's the same fear of the black male that existed back in the 1800s. Having even directed a movie about slavery and, you know, the scenes that we have in the slave town, the slave auction town, where they're moving back and forth. Well, that looks like standing on the top tier of a prison system and watching the things go down. And between the private prisons and the public prisons and the way prisoners are traded back and forth, and literally all the reasons that they have for keeping this going are all the same reasons they had for keeping slavery going after the whole world had pretty much decided that it was immoral.
Right. Business.
Because it's an industry. And what are we, you know, and one, what are we going to do with all these people who are let loose? You know, these black people let loose. And two, what are we going to do about all the people who make money off of this industry?
Tensions ran so high, so personal, that at one point a lawmaker was beaten unconscious on the Senate floor. Eventually, war broke out. Brother against brother, North against South. At its heart, the question of slavery was never simply about civil rights. It was about the meaning of America, the kind of country we wanted to be. Whether this nation might fulfill the call of its birth. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among those are life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. President Lincoln understood that if we were ever to fully realize that founding promise, it meant not just signing an Emancipation Proclamation, not just winning a war. It meant making the most powerful collective statement we can in our democracy, etching our values into our Constitution. He called it a king's cure for all the evils.
They don't really care about us. Nah, nigga, they don't give a fuck. See, they trying to hold you down so they can live it up. They don't want you loving me, I don't know who to trust.
And the United States has everything under control. They think.